Hundreds of thousands of people attended this Sunday's People Climate March, including Campus Sustainability Coordinator Lisa Mitten and SUNY New Paltz Professor Michael Bombs. IM New Paltz sat down with the two to discuss how they feel the march went. Let's take a look.
The march was very, very large. The estimates for the number of people who were in attendance is about 400,000 people. So just the size of the march was incredible. I've never participated in anything like that before.
I thought it was great, but I think nothing's going to change. You know, it's to me it feels as if we were allowed to march to express our anger and so forth, march, walk, get the energy out, and then go home. And I don't think anything's going to be accomplished.
President Obama addressed the General Assembly on Tuesday afternoon, calling on all countries to join the United States, not next year or the year after, but right now, to dramatically cut carbon emissions.
The fact that we had to wait hours to start walking was a testament to how large the march was and how broad the support is for climate change action. The beginning of the march started off with indigenous people and people of color who are on the front lines of climate change, who have the most to lose and who have contributed the least and have the most to lose, such as low-lying countries.
It's got to be a worldwide thing because if we look at, for example, where we're seeing right now the climate crisis happening, it's happening in islands in the Pacific that are not producing carbon footprints, and yet their sea levels are rising. So it can't be just like one state doing it. It can't be just one country doing it. It's got to be all the countries doing it.
The largest demonstration of its kind, the People's Climate March, was just one of some 2,700 events around the globe that day, all delivering the same message to world leaders, many of whom are meeting this week at the United Nations.
You have to get control of the corporations. You know, we're talking about us doing all these kind of acts to prevent and lower our carbon footprint, but ours is very small. The corporations are huge footprints. Like if we make a dent in that, which we don't, but they make a tremendously big dent, and somehow they're not listening.
One way to start thinking about how an individual and a student can have an impact on reducing the effects of climate change is to just examine the individual actions that one does that is related to the emission of carbon dioxide and other fossil fuels. And we can do a lot as an individual institution. There's a tremendous amount we can do, but there is a lot more that we can do with the right laws and policies and funding in place that our elected leaders can provide in order to move forward.